different kind of rotation for Texas A&M tonight. 10-0, 1-0 in conference play. Kentucky 9-1, 2-0 in conference play. A&M in the home white opening. Tap is controlled by the Aggies, and they are underway at Reed Arena. India Jones looks inside, and right away Dre Edwards is there for the steal for Kentucky.
And that's really one of Texas A&M. That's their game plan. They like to start the ball, moving the ball down low. And right off the bat, we get a nice three-point shot from the Kentucky Wildcats.
Kiki McKinney knocks down her 5th three-pointer of the season. She's been on a run after an 0 of 8 start from outside the three-point line to start the season. So Kentucky is led by Ryan Howard with the basketball from 16. That's good. A great start on the road for Howard and her Kentucky teammates. Howard has gone for 24 points and 10 boards, 33 points and 10 boards in her first 2 SEC games this season. Patterson is the point guard. Dre Edwards is the leading rebounder. Deep three from Wilson, rebounded by Howard.
I think tonight you'll see a lot of different defenses that are thrown at Ryan Howard and the Wildcat team. Coach Blair likes to switch up her defenses pertaining and really focus on whatever the offense has, whatever the team plays. So he wouldn't give us the secret and what they were going to do. Instead, they'll play a little bit of zone and a little bit of man-to-man. So we'll see what they have.
Now, he's been around the block 1 or 2 times. He's not about ready to give up any secrets. There's one of the great additions for Texas A&M, Jordan Nixon. She plays the point, but she is not afraid to attack the basket. Aaliyah Wilson is the leading scorer. India Jones is averaging a double-double again this season for A&M. And another turnover for Kentucky. And it'll be Aggie ball.
Yeah, definitely not what Kentucky wants to do, but at least it's a dead ball turnover and not turnover within the flow of the game. That's something that both coaches talked about. If you're going to turn the ball over, at least let it be a dead ball turnover.
So this will be a challenge for Nixon, running the point for Texas A&M, her first year with the program, guarded by Chastity Patterson, who leads the SEC in steals per game. But Nixon, as we said, will take it to the basket.
But she's a smart point guard / guard just in general. That's why Coach Blair has him leading. He said she's actually a better 2 player off the ball, but he likes her having the ball in her hands. And you can tell even when you see them matched up, Chastity Patterson and Jordan Nixon, Nixon has a little bit of weight on her.
Patterson somehow flipped it up and got it to drop.
I love this matchup between the two of them, and you see Coach Blair doing a great job already telling his team we have got to release pressure off of whoever Chastity Patterson is guarding her because she is a great defender.
Batted out, 10 to shoot for A&M. It's going to be interesting to watch the post battle tonight, Tamika, because the addition of Dre Edwards, the Utah transfer, Olivia Owens off the bench. Ryan Howard obviously has size, as does Kiki McKinney. That's from the outside, and it's all Nixon right now, all the time for A&M.
Well, that's one thing that the conversation kept going to. Kentucky has not normally had as much post power that they've had. Of course, Texas A&M, Sierra Johnson, this is her senior year. She's been there for a while, and every year she's gotten better and better. But Kentucky, bringing in Dre Edwards, like you said, great addition for them.
Good defensive play, read well by A&M. But then there is the steals leader in the SEC. Patterson can't finish, though. Chastity averaging nearly 4.5 steals a game. That's actually good for 4th in the country as well.
She's active. She's everywhere. If you watch her, she's constantly moving, always trying to figure out a way to get her hands on the ball.
Oh, there's Ryan Howard. Just as India Jones was set to go up with a putback, Howard picked her pocket. Edwards trying to post up on Sierra Johnson.
Both teams right now, I think from Kentucky's standpoint, they're used to running, they're used to going. Yet another turnover by this Kentucky team, sitting at 4 turnovers right now.
So Edwards will head to the bench, as will Patterson. Kyra Elzy will use Olivia Owens off the bench. Robin Benton, who's been a great spark off the bench. Jasmine Massengill, who has fit right in with Kentucky. Massengill on the floor right now in her 4th game after becoming eligible after the NCAA blanket waiver was approved. Now, what a great start for Jordan Nixon. Went for 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting in the win against Florida. Last time out, she's 4 for 4 to start here tonight against Kentucky.
Well, she's so poised. If you've watched every one of her shots, she got to the basket a couple times, taking a couple jump shots, but even if everything is within the flow of the game and it's balanced. We talked about just how good this Texas A&M team, and we'll continue to talk about it because they are so balanced in just the offensive production.
Massengill, little stop to get free, and she knocks down her first shot. Jasmine averaging 4.5 points a game, but she'll fill up the stat sheet. 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in that win against Mississippi State.
Coach Elzy said that she's part of the X Factor. She has her bench. Jordan Nixon is on fire.
Here's the news that Jordan doesn't want to hear. Next whistle is the media timeout. That's the only thing that is going to cool her off right now. 5 for 5 after knocking down her first three-point attempt and then knocked out a play, and that will get us the whistle and get us to the media timeout. Just put a blanket on her. Just keep her warm right now if you're on that A&M bench. She is filling it up. She's got all 11 for the Aggies.
When you want to power up, go pro at Subway for double the protein on footlong subs and the new protein bowls. And if you want to go pro like Marshawn, don't let anything get in your way.
Here we go.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. What's up, Alice?
Hey, Marshawn.
Good call. Go pro and get double the protein for just $2 more on your favorite sub or new protein bowl. Subway, eat fresh.
I love it. Oh my God.
Delivery for Elizabeth.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
SEC Network Women's Basketball is presented by Regions, the official bank of the SEC. Great start offensively for these two teams. A combined 10 for 15 from the field so far, tied at 11 in the 12th meeting all time between Texas A&M and Kentucky. A&M with a 6-5 edge. Kentucky has the edge in College Station 3-2. Last year in Lexington, it's another good matchup. Number 11 Kentucky, number 12 Texas A&M. Tonight it's number 8 and number 10, but once they threw it up, Gary Blair said, they pushed us around. Kentucky rolled to a win, 76-54. Ryan Howard had 24 points. It was her 7th straight 20-point game. The streak would end at 8 straight 20-point games. But it hasn't been the Ryan Howard show so far here tonight. It has been the Jordan Nixon show for Texas A&M. 5 for 5 from the field. She's got all 11 Aggie points.
Well, if you're an Aggie fan, you got to be happy just seeing Jordan Nixon out there first and foremost. What she's been able to do the first 10 games of the season, they want more of that. And she came out, she knows it's a big game. She is always ready for the big games. We know that about Jordan Nixon.
Transfer from Notre Dame, who redshirted last year, played in 26 games as a freshman. Gary Blair says she is not afraid of anything, just a great leader on the floor and off. And you pointed out, too, that maybe her natural position is at the 2, and we've seen her go off in scoring here, but it's what she does with that leadership. As a foul is called on Robin Benton out of the timeout, that Gary Blair feels like he needs that person on the court who is really going to help with this chemistry experiment, because she's one of 8 transfers on this Texas A&M team. So you need a point guard who can communicate, who can keep all these different puzzle pieces in one place.
Well, all the personalities, right? You're still trying to build the culture. You're trying to build the chemistry. Kennedy Carter was really Texas A&M. She has been Texas A&M through her career. She's gone now, so you're trying to reestablish. Texas A&M is trying to reestablish themselves. They bring in the transfer. They got those seniors that have stepped up big time. Jordan Nixon, having her out there, I mean, she's done a great job just leading the team, but I think the communication aspect has been the most important thing.
Oh, that's what Sierra Johnson does so well. Looked like she was a little too deep, but made the catch and the finish, and A&M's up 2.
And it's been fun to watch Sierra Johnson through her development. I guarantee you about a year, maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago, she wouldn't have been able to catch that ball and score it, let alone catch it in stride like she just did and finish strong.
There's Robin Benton, who knocks down a 3, and for the 3rd game in a row, Robin Benton has made her first 3-point attempt. She comes into the game locked, loaded, and on target.
Ready to shoot. You see she catches the ball in rhythm. Even that release, India Jones tried to stop it, but got a little bit of body on that.
Both teams really relying on key transfers to get them where they are right now, in the top 10 in the country. Benton, the transfer from Auburn, finishes the 4-point play. Benton very good defensively, good matchup here as she will try to shadow Jordan Nixon, who scored the first 11 points for Texas A&M.
And Benton's really developed her outside game too. I mean, even thinking to Auburn, she was a scorer, but I feel like being able to be in a different position on this Kentucky team, her role is different than it was in Auburn. She focuses on defense here and knocking down the open shots. When you get the open look, you got to knock down that shot.
Kentucky focused on defense. You saw Howard chasing down Kayla Wells, but they still got points in the paint, did the Aggies, to tie it at 15. Howard, that's all she needs is a little opening, but not this time. 41% three-point shooter. Wilson, little opening. Ripped down by Owens. Benton. Rebounded by Johnson, but taken away by Benton, and last touch by Texas A&M, so it'll be Kentucky basketball. There you see Gary Blair in his 18th year at Texas A&M, 36th overall with 823 career victories. And Kyra Elzy started the season as the interim head coach. That tag was removed on December 14th. Every time we've talked to Kyra, Tamika, who of course you know very well, both former Lady Vols, how much she really feels indebted to this team as she came in, and she has said time and again that she will love this team for life. We're only a few games into the season. It could be a long season, and dealing with COVID and the retirement of Matthew Mitchell, she was thrust into this role after 18 years as an assistant, and the team has really helped that transition go smoothly for her.
Well, if you think about it, she's one of the reasons that most of these players are here. You know, she's been a solid recruiting assistant coach. I mean, players, I know even for me, when I was getting recruited, my assistant coaches, Mickey DeMoss, Al Brown, Holly Warlick, I mean, they were my everything. Like Coach Summit was great, of course, you know the Coach Summit story, but I think for me personally, why I came to the University of Tennessee was because of our assistant coaches, and a lot of these young ladies on this Kentucky Wildcat team were recruited by Kyra and Naya.
So you're telling me Pat Summit was the great closer? The assistant
Yeah, when she walked in my house, the mic definitely dropped.
Benton off the front of the rim. Your jaw dropped, the mic dropped, everything. Like, where's the pen? Where do I sign? Howard will slow things down now with it approaching 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Got a little ragged there after a hot start for these two teams.
I think we knew it was going to be a low-scoring first quarter at least. Both teams trying to figure out what rhythm can you play with. You know, I said this earlier, but Kentucky, they're used to getting up and down. They use their defense. They flow. They go. Texas A&M, they like to use the clock a little bit more. Coach Blair said it's not always about the first shot. It's about the best shot, and for them to all play together.
Count it, and the foul. That's Wilson. We saw Destiny Pitts in the game. That's going to be another thing to impact how Gary Blair works this game here. Without Zay Green and Alexis Morris, who would be two speed factors in the backcourt. But just the play of Wilson as she continues to really play well. The senior went for 14 against Florida last time out.
She's finally healthy too. She played 9 games last season coming off of her injury. This is her first full year. She's had time this past offseason to get her body right, to get stronger, to get back into basketball focus and basketball mode. So this is like her coming out party, being able to come out and have a solid run for her senior season.
Doing it with scoring, averaging a team best 13.5 a game, but also real good defensively. Very good on-ball defender, leading the team in steals. Well, Ryan Howard has attempted 3 shots here. Oh, nice little stutter step to get free and knock it down for 2 more.
Texas A&M not able to come on the bottom side to get to her quick enough.
There's a steal by Patterson. Nice dribble to get free. Up to Massengill to beat the buzzer to close the first quarter. Chastity Patterson is a difference maker for Kentucky on defense. The steal up ahead.
5 for 5 from the line or from the field. She's just been dominating. She just looks so under control, so poised. And that is what Coach Blair wants, that leadership from her.
Ryan Howard will bring it up, guarded by Kayla Wells as we start the second. 2 more for Howard.
One thing Kayla Wells knows, you cannot go under a screen that's set by Ryan Howard. She goes under the screen, gets hit on the screen and not able to recover. A player like that, you just can't go under.
Wilson can't get it. The rebound to Green. Tatiana Wyatt has come on for Kentucky.
Texas A&M settled into a 2-3 zone.
Patterson can't get it. Tipped out of play. Last touch by Kentucky. And it'll be Texas A&M ball. Last time out for A&M, they won at Florida 92-67. It was an 11-point game after 3. The Aggies made all 4 of their 3-pointers in the fourth. Jones and Johnson both had double-doubles. It was a dominant fourth quarter for A&M to pick up their first conference victory. Wilson reverses.
Texas A&M has 15 players, and when you start getting to conference play, you really shorten your bench and who you play. But Coach Blair has been able to play. Last game against Florida, he played all 15. And he said he wasn't expecting to play 15. He was only expecting the 8 or 9, but the flow of the game, he was able to get them in.
I mean, both teams. Kentucky's got 14 that they normally dress, so Wilson ducks under, couldn't get it, but no one's there for Kentucky on the glass, and Wilson missed another one. Jones looking for a call, goes down, and now Kentucky will run. A&M normally dresses 15, Kentucky 14. We joke with Gary Blair. I know he's a big baseball fan. I didn't know if he was a hockey fan. He could do line changes. He's got so many people. He could just do it like hockey. Let's throw 5 new ones out there.
We begged them, please don't do that to us. Make sure.
A little tough to keep track of who's in the game. Patterson for 2. Wells rebounded by Wyatt.
Great curl right there, though, by Wells.
Howard on her way down, throws it up, and it drops.
That's what makes Ryan Howard so good. I mean, she's just able to create any shot that she wants at the right point in time of the game.
How did this one go, though? Come on, degree of difficulty on this one looked pretty high.
Looked like
She was almost past the hoop.
Well, Kayla Wells,
ridiculous.
Kayla Wells determined not to go under the screen. She gets hit on the side of the screen. Ryan Howard able to weave in a little bit, just enough. It's interesting to watch Sierra Johnson on Texas A&M, though, because I feel like she's done a good job this game of controlling her body and not putting her body in a position to get fouls called on her. She went straight up against Howard. That was just a hard shot.
Well, Gary Blair really loves how Johnson and Jones work together, and you talk about the experience that they have, and then you mix in Kayla Wells. Those three have each made, heading into tonight, 74 complete career starts. So there's tons of experience, but Jones and Johnson, especially up front, really know how to work together in the post.
The high-low movement, I mean, India Jones, she just floats a lot when she moves, but she's so active that you have to guard her. You have to watch her. Then, of course, you bring Kayla Wells, same thing. She has the energy. She moves. You're constantly, as a defender, trying to figure out where she's going to cut to and where she's going to go. So then you have your steady Eddie down low, Sierra Johnson, that just rules the post and posts up big.
Massengill, Dre Edwards back in the game, and that'll be turnover number 6 for Kentucky. They average 13 a game.
Dre Edwards has 5 turnovers. Trying to move too fast. Sierra Johnson's a little bit bigger than the post players she's been going up against and moving her foot a little bit too fast.
Another good play by Patterson. She draws the foul on Texas A&M, and it'll be Kentucky ball. Chastity from Houston, started her career at Texas and has fit right in at Kentucky. Now they're trying to trap Ryan Howard, and a timeout called by Kentucky. So we'll take the timeout as well. It comes with 6:21 to go in the second quarter, and Kentucky up by 5 in College Station.
How about no?
No.
No way.
Come on, no.
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 Only Discover has no annual fee on any card.
Health isn't just physical. Social well-being is important too. Introducing Amazon Halo. Halo lets you analyze the tone of your voice throughout the day, because sometimes we don't sound the way we think we sound. Like, maybe you thought you sounded affectionate, but actually sounded bored. Maybe in the future you can do a better job complimenting your talents. With Halo, you can make sure what people hear with their ears matches what comes from your heart.
It's my lucky night. I will take it, Alyssa. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to be with everybody tonight. I know it's a long night back in the studio. They had the first game, they had the pregame, they got the halftimes, they got SEC Now coming up, and we've got our eyes on Ryan Howard. You know, Tamika, in our conversation with Gary Blair, when it was completely unsolicited, but Gary wanted to tell us who Ryan Howard reminded him of, okay? And I'll give everybody one guess who he came up with. It just happens to be the one and only Lady Vol for life. Tamika Catchings. Gary couldn't wait to say, do you know who Ryan reminds me of? I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And thankfully, Tamika is ego-free. I mean, it is. I can't. that is not a lie. She is ego-free. But Gary then went on for about a 5-minute history lesson of the greatness of Tamika Catchings and what he sees in Ryan Howard. So, what do you see in Ryan Howard that Gary sees from trying to stop you back in the day?
Well, it's interesting because even as he went on, he said, the only difference is
and on.
The only difference is Ryan Howard shoots more threes than you shot because she has to for her team. And, just the difference of the players that were around. And it's funny because we talk about it, but two of my teammates are on the bench for Kentucky as the head coach and the assistant coach. So it's a lot of fun just watching Ryan. She is such a great player, and just being able to watch her the last couple of years, it's been a lot of fun calling her games.
Now, Kyra Elzy has told Ryan and told us that she thinks Ryan should try to be the defensive player of the year in the SEC. That's another area of her game. Then it would be much more like Tamika Catchings. That's the defensive piece in there, like you played the D. There's a traveling violation.
Well, I'll be honest. I will be honest. I learned how to play defense when I got to Tennessee. Before I got to Tennessee, like most players you see, offense was the thing because that's what everybody talked about. But Pat gave me an option. She said, if you want to sit on the bench next to me, you can keep playing the way that you played in high school. If you want to learn how to play Tennessee Lady Volunteer basketball, you can learn how to play defense. And you can see, I see a lot of the same principles that we learned from Nia and Kyra and Matthew Mitchell. He was at Tennessee when I was there, of course. Nikki Fargus from LSU, she was at Tennessee. Nikki McCray-Penson, she was at Tennessee. So you see a lot of the same defensive principles. And then Coach Blair, I actually went, when he was at Arkansas, I went on a recruiting visit because I respect him so much and what he's been able to do and how he transformed Texas A&M.
12 now for Ryan Howard. You saw the last trip for Texas A&M, that post play working together so well. Johnson and Jones, first points of the game for Jones. Back to a 5-point game. Edwards almost had it.
Thought Sierra Johnson was going to show us her range.
Kiki McKinney gets called for the foul, and it'll send Jones to the free throw line. Here are the posts working together for A&M.
And he just talked about the high-low pass right there. Sierra Johnson right there. She sees India Jones always moving. She's always going. She's always cutting to the basket. Just a matter of for both of them to be able to find each other.
17 points, 18 rebounds, 4 assists in the win against Florida last time out for the senior from Lawrenceville, Georgia. It was the 6th time in her career she's gone for 18 or more rebounds. Has to settle for 1 of 2 from the free throw line.
And rebounding is just about heart. It's about who wants it more. Like we always say, throw the ball up there and go and get it. And India Jones, that's what she does. She just goes.
Howard won't drop. Owens can't grab it, and there is Jones. Wilson, yes.
I like how Wilson used that screen right there. You got Jasmine Massengill just to back up a little bit. That jump shot is just like butter.
Wilson ran into Owens. McKinney, good three-point shooter, not this time. And Owens gets called for the foul. Be the 3rd team foul on Kentucky.
And this is what I was talking about just a second ago. So smooth, able to get over that screen. Just enough space. Aaliyah Wilson.
Wilson's been very good. We showed you at the top of the show how there's good balance. She's shooting 50% from the field. Very efficient offense. Their top 4 scorers all at 50% or better shooting from the field. Now a turnover, and it's Massengill. Massengill won't go down. Kayla Wells. Wilson will try again. McKinney the rebound. Approaching 2.5 to go in the first half. Kentucky led by 3 at the end of one quarter. Jordan Nixon scored the first 11 points of the game for Texas A&M. And now a foul called on Kentucky. I think it's on Owens. Will be her second personal foul.
Well, Kentucky doing what they've been asked by their coach. Coach Shelby said, look, sometimes we need to run the play all the way through, find the best option. So they were trying to run the screen. Owen just moves a little bit on that back screen.
A&M struggling offensively. They're 2 for their last 10 from the field, shooting 37%. Yeah, this is a team that shot very well this season, 51% as a team. Wells gets her first 2.
Kayla Wells is another one of those players that we've watched develop. Last year, she really had to step into her own alongside of Kennedy Carter, and I think this year you're seeing, all right, Wells without Carter, what can she do? You know, one great thing is that it doesn't have to be the Kayla Wells show when you have that many options that are around you, and then you have a bench that's coming in and also able to be productive. So I think she's been able to fit in well to the flow of the offense and on the defensive end and get comfortable with, hey, you're an option, but you don't have to be that dominant option.
8th turnover for Texas A&M. Aggies have come back to tie it at 29. Wyatt for 2.
Great pass by Massengill.
Kentucky back in front. They led 27-20. A&M with a good close here to the quarter. That won't drop down, though, and here's Ryan Howard. Howard with 12 points here in the first half on 6 of 10 shooting. McKinney left wide open.
Both teams looking a little bit tired right now. Slowing down the pace a little bit on both sides. It's going to be a grind. It's a grind out game.
It's a grind right now, and a foul called on Jasmine Massengill. That'll be the 5th team foul on Kentucky. So 2 free throws coming up for Texas A&M. Chance to tie it up. See Jasmine wearing the mask. Ira Elsie told us it was her choice. We haven't seen a lot of it. I think you may see a little bit more of the Patriot League. They're starting up play. They're wearing masks. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen it because we see so many kids at practice wearing a mask, but they're not feeling comfortable during the game. But for Jasmine, it works for her. You can see when kids go to the bench, they've got the masks on. And, I mean, that's part of coaching in 2021. You are coaching the X's and O's and what you're doing on the court, and you're also making sure that everybody's got their masks on and socially distanced and staying safe. And that's the world we live in right now.
Yeah, Coach Boyer said, I just pray that I will have enough players and that we'll be safe and healthy to play basketball. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do and take those safety precautions.
But Wilson getting it done at the free throw line. 5 for 5. She's got 11. Nixon with 11, and we're tied at 31. More pressure on Howard. Patterson into the game. Again, McKinney left wide open. Can't get it. Benton gets after the loose ball. Has her shot blocked by Wilson and then knocked out of bounds by Benton. And let's see if they're going to put a little under a second on the clock. Felt like we heard a whistle and then the horn, and yes, 1 second will be on the clock. Joe Vasili making the indication. Well, I'm guessing he's saying 1 second. I'm going by hand signals right now because the lip reading is usually a plus for us, but not today.
Well, that's something else. The referees are wearing masks. Not all referees wear masks during the game too, but thought about that when you said you can't read lips. Both Eric and I read lips, so kind of a little difficult with the mask on.
I mean, if we could read lips now in this mask era, then we're really good at it. But
started learning how to read eyes.
Yes, that's right. And that will do it for the first half. About where you expected to be? Tie game at halftime, Tamika?
Yeah, I definitely thought it was going to be a grind, but didn't know who would be able to come out on top. Excited about the second half. Both teams tried to do too much too early. So that's been great. And of course, on the Texas A&M Aggie side, they have a balanced attack. So they have two players sitting right now with 11 points each, Wilson and Jones. Both have come out. They've stepped in. Nixon started the game early, first 11 points, did a great job, and they're playing really well.
Right away, side, and that has to be the game plan for Gary Blair, because in the first half, that post combination of Jones and Johnson were a combined 3 of 5. 5 field goal attempts in a half combined for those two. That's not Texas A&M basketball.
That's what they are. That's their bread and butter right there. Getting the ball down low. Sierra Johnson has done a great job of being such a big presence down low. Of course, talked a little bit about India Jones and what she's capable of doing. Patterson takes the ball in.
You know, we've seen Chastity a couple times, and now a turnover for Texas A&M. She is listed at 5'5". I'm going to call her 5'5". That's it. No, I'm sorry, Chastity, you are 5'5", but you've played 6'5" on a couple of these drives here today.
It might be her shoes, Eric. It might be the shoes.
Baseline out of bounds play and an easy hoop for Kentucky.
This is Kentucky Wildcat basketball. They like to get up in you for 94 feet. That's why Chastity Patterson is able to get the steal so easily, honestly. But then she is able to spur and to start their defense and turn the defense into the offense.
Well, Leah Wilson had a good first half. She picks up where she left off. 14 points now for Wilson, 11 for Jordan Nixon, 6 for Johnson, and 3 for Jones, 2 for Wells. That's it for the scoring. The starting 5, the only scores for Texas A&M. Mentioned Howard with 12, 6 for Benton off the bench, and Patterson with the field goal in the second half with 6. Howard adds to her total.
I talked to you about this at halftime, but just the amount of minutes on Kentucky in the first half. Howard played 19 minutes. McKinney played 20. On Texas A&M, we got Wilson, Wells, and Sierra Johnson, 20, 19, 19. They're in the game for a lot of minutes. Their bench has to produce. Texas A&M, they need their bench to come in and step up.
Well, A&M looking for Johnson on the inside to start the half, but they've had a couple of three-pointers since then. They're now 3 of 7 from outside the three-point line. They make on average 5 threes a game. Howard, yes, Ryan Howard with 2 more. The thing about Ryan Howard, I know this is nothing new, but just how she's able to score. It looks like her feet aren't set sometimes. It looks like she's about ready to fumble the basketball. It looks like she's off balance as Wells is heating up. But Howard just keeps finding ways for it to go in time and again.
She told Coach Elsie this summer she was watching Damian Lillard and that she wanted to be able to shoot the ball. So how he's able to take those shots 2 steps into the half court, she wants to be able to do that.
Well, there was a catch to that though. What did Kyra tell Ryan?
She said she had to get in the gym. You have to get in the gym. You got to practice. If I see you practice it, maybe we'll allow you to do it in a game. And you know, Ryan, the way that she's able to shoot the ball, she's just so effective. As long as the shoulders are squared up, to the basket, you're good to go, Eric.
That is Johnson who will earn a trip to the free throw line. Now, Owens picks up her 3rd personal foul. So Robin Benton will come into the game. Owens will check out. And Johnson, 57% free throw shooter, will check in. Owens does officially check out. Wyatt is back in for Kentucky.
Edwards has come in and has not really done a good job at all. She's had a lot of, with 5 turnovers. And the biggest difference, Coach Blair said when he was talking about just the post play for Kentucky, he said the difference this year, they have 10 fouls to give. So although Owens had 3 fouls right now, they still have more to go.
Johnson with the rebound, and Howard gets called for the foul. This is the largest lead for Texas A&M, up by 4. The largest lead for Kentucky was 7 in the second quarter. So Howard picks up her first personal foul.
Yeah, definitely a foul. I like the hustle, but yeah, can't wrap your arms around it.
Well, A&M's got to be careful because Patterson's lurking in the backcourt as Nixon gets set to work it up with a little help from Jones. Johnson turns on Wyatt for 2.
Great patience right there. That is something we have not seen in previous years. She has gotten a lot better at being able to be patient. She saw the double team come. She waited a second, waited for the double team to leave, and then made her move.
Howard has Jones on the switch. Nifty dribble, gives it up to Wyatt. Unselfish play for 2. Well, Wyatt did not play against Mississippi State. She's got 4 off the bench for Kentucky tonight, and Patterson a little aggressive defensively. Gets whistled for the foul. That's her first.
She's just so quick. Her hands, her feet, just how she moves. But Jordan Nixon does a great job of using her body to shield Patterson from being able to get a steal.
And Kentucky's done a good job on Nixon after that 5-for-5 start. She scored Texas A&M's first 11 points, but she's 0 for 5 since. Wells gets called for the travel.
Yeah, it's interesting when I talked to Coach Blair when we were talking to her, and I asked, said, you know, you have a player like Kennedy Carter on your team. What did your players learn from her? And the one thing that he talked about was how to create your own shot instead of sometimes setting up the offense. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but one thing that you've seen Kayla Wells do is being able to dribble, drive in, come out of the play just a little bit, but most of the decisions she makes are good. Of course, Ryan Howard.
What'd you say about shoulders being square?
Shoulders are square, as long as the shoulders are square, right?
Even if you're like 22 feet away, you know, just turn, square them, and knock down the 3.
It's all about the follow-through, too. You got to make sure the follow-through is pointed at the basket.
Shot blocked by McKinney. Tenth block for Kiki McKinney on the season, who answers on the other end with a 3. So defense into offense for Kiki McKinney, and Kentucky on an 8-0 run back in front.
Ryan Howard's so good at being able, I mean, Kiki McKinney stepped into her shot. She knows the pass is coming.
And a foul is going to be called. That will get us a stoppage of play. 4:10 to go in the third quarter. Well, Ryan Howard is really good at basketball, and she's got another talent that she's developing as well. We'll have that next.
How about no?
No.
No way.
Come on, no.
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 No. Only Discover has no annual fee on any card.
Small changes can have a big impact on your long-term health. Introducing Amazon Halo. Halo provides trackable challenges and experiments developed by experts to help you build healthier habits for life. Like getting steps in during phone calls, sleeping better by napping less, and de-stressing by decluttering. With Halo, you can fine-tune the way you tick.
19 points, 5 rebounds, 9 of 14 shooting for Rhyne Howard only tells part of the story. This is some of her work in an area that she's evolving in as well. I like the signature in the lower right. That's a Rhyne Howard original, Tamika Catchings. Pretty impressive stuff for Rhyne Howard as she continues to make and stake her claim as the best player in the country, but the digital media and design major really showing off that talent off the floor as well.
Always good to see what talent our young ladies have off the floor, and Ryan just continued to inspire and amaze people, both on the court and off.
We asked Kyra Elsie about the recruitment of Rhyne Howard, and Kyra said she'd go in for the home visit, and Ryan is super shy. She would just smile at you and not talk, and she was videotaping the coaching staff with her phone, and then when the coaches would leave, they were like, well, did we make a connection there? And they would get on their phone the photos or the video with funny captions. And Kyra said the sense of humor is off the charts, and she's really finding her voice and stepping out there and not just blending in, but letting some of that personality show, whether it's through her artwork, but also things that we're seeing outside of basketball when it comes to her sense of humor and some of the other things she's doing and showing the leadership. There is Johnson, can't get it to go, and a rebound for Benton.
Yeah, I think this has been a very inspiring year. Starts obviously with the WNBA and being able to step up, and for Black Lives Matter, it is kind of, you've seen it flow through the rest of our young ladies in the women's college game. And the one thing that Coach Elsie said that she was really proud, because Ryan has been a player that has tried to blend in and has not been able to step up and use her voice and has tried to be shy and be quiet. But she said, I was so surprised at the Black Lives Matter march that we had. I looked over and Ryan had the mic in front of her face and the megaphone and was, yelling and screaming and taking charge. And that's really like what you want from your leader.
You cannot blend in. You're the face of the program, and not just on the basketball court, but off it as well. Foul was on Wyatt. You saw that Jones took the contact. She stayed in the game. With Kentucky on top by 2 with 3:29 to go.
You can tell the game plan had changed for Texas A&M, though. Sierra Johnson now sitting with 10 points, 4 for 6 from the field goal, but they are trying to get the ball down low. She is trying to make sure that she steps up because her team needs her to score down low.
Now, Jones has been held in check. 3 points, just 3 field goal attempts as she connects from the free throw line. Five points now for the senior, preseason first-team selection in the SEC after earning first-team honors last year.
Well, we're back tied, and we talked about this at the beginning of the game. We talked about it at halftime. These teams match up. Both of these teams match up so well against each other because they have a lot of the same pieces. So we knew it was going to be a grind. We knew it was going to be a close game, and it's going to go down to the wire.
It's even here in the third quarter, 16 points apiece. It was even at 31 at halftime. That was on Wilson, her first personal.
Uh-oh. Watching Kayla Wells hopping around.
Benton off the mark. Here's Nixon. Wilson can't get it on the drive after a path was cleared out by Jones. Jump ball, possession arrow, Kentucky.
Love how India Jones plays. She is all out, all hustle all the time. You watch her and just mean, I like just watching her in the possession. She's from one side to the other side on the defensive end. She's everywhere. Then she ends up with the rebound or not, but she's always in the play.
Well, Massengill into the game. And Howard is hit, and she'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
I think it'll be interesting to see if Texas A&M, if Coach Blair changes his defensive scheme. Right now, he's trying to throw a 2-man rotation at Ryan Howard. But I think we could see him trap before the end of this game. See if he can get the ball out of her hands.
Howard 6th in the conference at 84%. Second one coming. Women's basketball doubleheader next Thursday right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Georgia will visit Tennessee, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. Then it's Kentucky and Auburn here on the SEC Network next Thursday night. Tennessee returning to play for the first time since December 28th. Their games against Kentucky and Texas A&M were postponed, and I'd say the Lady Vols looked pretty good in their return to play. 88-73 win over Arkansas. Renaya Davis, Ray Burrell both going for 26 points. Lady Vols shot 54% from the field. Now, you had pointed out that Kayla Wells was hopping around earlier, Tamika.
It looked like on the defensive end, sometimes you just misstep, but she doesn't want to get out. She wants to play, so trying to hop around.
It wasn't a convincing argument. That she wasn't putting any weight on one leg. She looked like she was in a lot of pain, and Kayla will come out of the game, as we talked about, trying to find her offense. 3-year starter for this Texas A&M team, and they'll take a closer look at her on the bench.
Could just be a cramp, like just taking some of the Gatorade bars. I know Coach Blair wants her to figure out what needs to get done so he can get her back in the game.
So the foul on Ryan Howard, her second personal. Destiny Pitts taking the free throws. Pitts, an outstanding three-point shooter, but she has been held to just one three-point attempt so far here tonight. Those are her first 2 points.
Well, we both know it only takes one moment to get yourself going, and we've watched a lot of rain. We've rained a lot of threes in the last week or so, so any point in time, she'll get her stuff going.
Nixon kicked it. 2:03 to go in the third quarter. 8th ranked Texas A&M, 10-0 on the season. Against ranked teams this year, they are 2-0 with wins over DePaul and Texas, both on the road.
You bring up DePaul, a team that we've watched and they continue to do really well, but they gave Kentucky their only loss.
That's right. Kentucky 9-1. Against ranked teams, Kentucky knocked off Indiana in non-conference play. And in their first 2 SEC games, wins over Arkansas and Mississippi State. Now thrown out of bounds as Wyatt and Howard couldn't get on the same page.
Tatiana Wyatt, she can knock down that free throw line shot. Tried to pass it off, got the turnover.
Aggies feed it inside. They had missed their previous 5 field goal attempts, but finding Johnson for 2. Even though A&M was cold from the field, it still is a 6-0 run for the Aggies to go on top by 4.
Texas A&M game plan coming into the third quarter was to figure out a way to attack the basket down low.
Howard in trouble. Ball free on the floor and picked up by Pitts. Pitts will reverse it too strong. Wilson shadowing Ryan Howard in the corner. To Wyatt. Wyatt, tough spin. Good defense by Johnson.
Great defense by Johnson, moving her feet, staying in front, in between the basket and Wyatt. Wyatt throws up a no-look Hail Mary. Use your teammates. Gotta use your teammates.
Final seconds of the third quarter. Jones. Shot clock at 7. Nixon, yes. Nixon had missed her 5 previous shots. She's got 13. Howard has to heave it to beat the buzzer. Had a little bit more time than that. Good quarter for Texas A&M to take a 6-point lead.
Then Texas A&M, Jordan Nixon, can't say enough. Just right, if they can get Sierra Johnson going, get the post players moving, India Jones, it opens up the outside game, and that's been the tail of the third quarter.
Nixon. They looked for Pitts for 3 out of the quarter timeout, and now Howard. Ryan Howard with 19 points, had 7 in the third quarter. McKinney. Well, she's had that shot a couple of times tonight. Won't drop down for Kiki. Now 3 of 7 from the field. Here come the Aggies.
Oh, you saw that little trap right there on Ryan Howard. Texas A&M going to really focus on getting the ball out of her hands. Then Jordan Nixon comes back on the other end, knocks down that three-pointer.
Was not a strong end to the third quarter for Kentucky. Their final 7 possessions, missed their last 3 shots, turned it over 3 times, went 0 for 2 from the free throw line. They were outscored 8-0. And Texas A&M continues to build the momentum as we head into the fourth.
This is the balanced attack that you talk about with Texas A&M. They don't have to get the ball in one person's hand. And unfortunately for Kentucky at times, they rely too much on getting the ball to Ryan Howard. Nixon going to the free throw line and thinking about free throws. Kentucky has not really gotten to the free throw line tonight.
Well, look what has happened this evening when you compare the 2 teams as well. 1 of 3 for Kentucky, 12 of 13 for A&M, and 3 free throws coming up now for Nixon, who was fouled by Patterson attempting a three-pointer.
Got to be smarter in those situations, but we saw the and one from earlier in the game, the foul that India Jones had earlier, and here you got another three-point play now for Texas A&M.
Nixon, the number 1 free throw shooter on this team, delivers with 3. She's got 19, which is a new career high for her. It's a 14-0 run now for Texas A&M. And foul is called on Wilson. That'll be her second personal.
I want to bring a little bit of attention to Dre Edwards, number 44, back in the game. She played 11 minutes tonight, and she's a player that they rely on. They rely on her to score. And she got 6 turnovers, so hoping that she'll get in the fourth quarter and be able to make a difference on the offensive end.
Turnover there for Kentucky, compounded by a foul on Ryan Howard. That's her 3rd personal foul.
Ryan Howard right now has been in the game for 31 minutes. McKinney, same, 31 minutes long, a lot of time.
One thing we'll talk about as this fourth quarter moves on a little bit, you can look at a 12-point deficit in this long run for Texas A&M, but Kentucky, it's something we've talked about throughout the season. They have been pretty good closers this year, finishing out games and putting them away, even when down. So we'll see what's in store for the Wildcats here tonight. Massengill, inside of 8 to play. Back outside, Edwards. Can't get the three, and it's a rebound for Jones. That's her 10th rebound of the night. Kayla Wells back into the game. And Jones gets called for the foul. Thought she had won it from McKinney.
Well, McKinney didn't turn around and box her out, so India Jones, that is what she does. She's very active. She is always going to try to get the ball.
Bears repeating for what Kentucky has done this year. At Kansas State, they went on an 11-0 run in the final 5.5 to close the game. Against Indiana, they made their last 12 free throws, outscored the Hoosiers 28-14 in the fourth, won that game. Arkansas, they closed the game on a 9-2 run. Against Mississippi State, they had an 11-2 run in overtime. So this is a Kentucky team that never feels like they're out of a game. And there's Howard with the steal. And when you have Ryan Howard, you are never out of the game. Great feed by Howard, and Edwards was fouled.
Great look right there, great screen, great steal on the other end. Kentucky on the run, but Edwards get to the free throw line. And look, that court vision right there, Jordan Nixon trying to get that steal, get the foul.
That's the second on Nixon, and Edwards to the line.
You were going through just the lineup of Kentucky and how they've been able to come back from games, but I guarantee you that Coach Blair, he said he knew he was going to be sweating. He knows that this game is never out of hand until the buzzer goes off, so I guarantee he's going to have his team press up, stay within the flow of their game. They're in the half court, see Kentucky come out with that full court press. Kyra said we're going to look at a 1-2-2, back to a 1-2-2 zone. And here it is.
First 2 points for Edwards on the night, averaging better than 13 a game, third on the team in scoring. There's Pitts for three. First three-pointer made for Destiny Pitts. And it's back to an 11-point lead for A&M. Massengill for three. McKinney couldn't grab it. It'll be A&M ball.
It only takes Pitts a minute to get her feet set up, but great patience down low. We talked about that. Pitts goes straight up. Coach Blair has continued to talk. That was what he talked about. Wait until you see Pitts on the floor. She might be the best three-point shooter I've seen in a long time.
Kayla Wells is still hopping around, but even on one leg, she's able to score. She's having one of her better offensive games. 9 points for Wells. Had 5 against Florida, has been trying to find her role in this offense, and she's come up with a couple of hoops here tonight when A&M needed it.
Well, last year Kentucky
There's
won.
The defense for A&M.
And last year Kentucky was able to get that win. So Coach Blair, the players that were part of that game last year, they know what it felt like. Guarantee they were ready for this game.
They got pushed around, Texas A&M did, lost 76-54. Now a timeout is called by Kentucky with 5:29 to go here in the fourth. 13-point deficit for Kentucky.
How about no?
No.
No way.
Come on, no.
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 Only Discover has no annual fee on any card.
A lot can happen with a simple tell your story. Get people excited. To get connected, to share, and sell anywhere, and start making a different future. Start different at GoDaddy.com.
off the court for Ryan Howard. How about for one of the top players for Texas A&M? This is India Jones, who obviously has a love affair with music that's been around for her family her whole life. Her dad, her grandma, and, you know, she's going to pursue a path down a musical career now that she's got her degree. She was a music major, so she's got the degree, and what's next for her, Tamika, is the big question. And the sky's the limit for someone who has a love for music and wants to find a way to apply that love as she goes forward.
Yeah, what she's studying. She wants to have her own music studio. So that will be next. I think she'll be playing ball for a while, whether it's here or overseas. But I think, you know, like you just said, the sky's the limit for her. You could do music anywhere.
The graduate patch on there, one of the Texas A&M graduates who working on a second degree in their time playing in College Station. So Kentucky takes the timeout. They get a Massengill look for three. It won't drop. Batted out by Robin Benton. McKinney gets the two. McKinney into double figures with 10. Kentucky trying to dial up the D, approaching 5 minutes to go.
That's going to be the difference in the game. Kentucky playing better defense. But watch Sierra Johnson down low. She is wanting the basketball.
And Jones is going to get called for the travel. That'll be the 13th turnover for Texas A&M. Timeout on the floor with 4:52 to go in the fourth. Double-digit lead for the Aggies.
How about no?
No.
No way.
Come on, no.
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 Only Discover has no annual fee on any card.
Small changes can have a big impact on your long-term health. Introducing Amazon Halo. Halo provides trackable challenges and experiments developed by experts to help you build healthier habits for life. Like getting steps in during phone calls, sleeping better by napping less, and de-stressing by decluttering. With Halo, you can fine-tune the way you tick.
SEC Network Women's Basketball is presented by Regions, official bank of the SEC. Been a strong second half for Texas A&M. This game was tied at 31, but the Aggies led by as much as 13 here in the second half. Right now the lead is 11 with 4:52 to go. The game plan for Texas A&M defensively seems to be we will let anybody not named Ryan Howard take a shot and try to beat us right now.
Well, I think that should be the game plan for any team, right? Ryan Howard, she continues to come out and show why she is one of the best players in the NCAA right now. And Kentucky has to figure out a way for other players to step up. Since the last couple of games, Ryan Howard has done a great job of putting the team on her back and being able to score. But if Texas A&M is going to put 2 and 3 people on Ryan Howard, somebody else has to be ready to step up and score.
Patterson, McKinney, Edwards, Benton, and Howard, the 5 on the floor for Kentucky, ranked 10th in the country, 2-0 in SEC play.
Look at that.
Starting
There's 2
the
people.
season.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Mika. Foul called on Edwards.
We both came out of that timeout talking about just the defensive scheme that Texas A&M has. Keep the ball out of Howard's hands. You just saw Ryan was all the way at the half-court line. 2 people are over there. Kentucky can't figure out a way to score.
Jump ball, possession arrow Kentucky. So as Kentucky defended A&M getting the ball in, they tied it up, and Wildcats will take over. Now A&M, nice try by Indy Jones, who is just like, oh, yeah, okay, our ball, right? No, it's Kentucky ball. Benton can't get the 2, and a foul is going to be called on Jones.
Yeah, India Jones didn't turn around to make the box out. Had a nice little push.
This Texas A&M defense has made it tough on Kentucky, especially Ryan Howard. And then when Kentucky's had some open looks, they haven't been able to make it. And now Jones is going to get whistled for foul number 4. Sierra Johnson, correction. Johnson is the one who gets called for the foul.
Well, that's a big difference between Johnson and Jones, because if you get Jones with 4 fouls.
Well, this is one area, and sometimes you take it for granted, like you got to know what everybody's doing, but at that moment right there, Sierra Johnson should have her hand up saying, yep, that foul's on me, instead of like complaining about it because your teammate could have 4, but yeah, that's it right there. And Indy Jones wasn't anywhere near it, but Johnson thought she had all ball. Howard struggling from the free throw line tonight, 2 for 5, 10-point game. She's got 20 again, and A&M answers right back.
Yeah, Texas A&M, that's what you got to do. You just got to keep passing the ball. It's interesting. A lot of people feel like they need to dribble through press when you see a full court press, but the fastest way to break a press is to get people open and pass the ball.
Howard off the glass for 2 more. 22 for Ryan Howard. Now, can Kentucky get a stop? The short answer is no. Johnson, 14 points on 6 of 8 shooting.
Gotten a lot of shots within her range down low, but she's done really good. She's done a really good job of controlling herself, controlling her body.
Ryan Howard gets called for the travel, and she comes up limping just a little bit. Aggies are going to call a timeout, and we'll keep an eye on Ryan Howard. So as the teams huddle up, let's see. Oh, yeah, rolled that right ankle, looked like, Tamika?
Yeah, it looked like a little right ankle roll, but some of it is fatigue, too. I think Ryan Howard played, all but 1 minute of the game thus far, and, all that pressure, making sure that she's moving around. They're throwing a lot of different looks from the Texas A&M side, but of course, from our end, we just hope that she's okay.
Tomorrow's the start of the SEC gymnastics season, and gymnastics takes over the SEC network as it does every Friday night. Doubleheader starts in Athens. Georgia takes on Missouri. That's at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Then it's 15th ranked Arkansas, number 3 LSU. All tomorrow on the SEC network. Full court pressure for Kentucky. Jones to Johnson under the Kentucky basket. Up for Wilson. And now Wilson will bring it back out, and A&M will run a little clock. Inside of 3 to go now. Jones, before the spin move, was fouled. Edwards picks up her second.
Texas A&M, they did a great job. They've done a great job thus far in the second half of really executing their game plan. They didn't do what they have normally done as far as getting the ball down low and really looking at Sierra Johnson for an option in the first half. Second half, they came out, they spread the floor, they looked down low. Sierra Johnson did a better job of actually making herself available down low. And this is that, getting the ball down low, attacking down low, finding the open looks.
Yeah, Yeah, good pass by Wilson to find Jones. Didn't get the basket, but she will go to the line to shoot 2, and Ryan Howard has 4 personal fouls. Free throws, big part of the story here today. It was a struggle for Texas A&M against Florida. They were 10 for 20. Didn't cost them in that game, but today it's made all the difference when you take a look at the scoreboard and the free throw disparity. Now Texas A&M 16 of 17 from the free throw line. That's their 17th made free throw. Kentucky has made 4 free throws in 7 attempts.
I think Kentucky or Texas A&M, has done. They have attacked the basket. Look at all the dribbling outside. I mean, Kentucky trying to drive in, but they're not going into the body. They're not going to actually attack and make a layup. They're going to get fouls, and Texas A&M done a better job.
Patterson got a hand in there and knocked it away in the scramble for the basketball tie-up. Possession arrow, Texas A&M. Now between Jones and Johnson, they are a combined 7 of 8 from the free throw line and 8 of 12 from the field. So they've attempted 7 field goal attempts in the second half. Remember, in the first half they attempted 5. But also getting that little bump at the free throw line. A&M is 11 of 11 from the free throw line this half. Two minutes to go. Wilson got free. Can't overlook the contribution by Aaliyah Wilson, who had 11 points in the first half. She's got 16 now for the game. Howard. That 3 won't go down, and there's Patterson playing big again. Howard on selfish play, finding Kiki McKinney for 2. Kentucky running out of time here in College Station.
Texas A&M doing a good job spreading the floor, using the clock, finding the right play.
And 1.
That whole play was all about the patience of Texas A&M, but of course, Leah Wilson makes that pass to India Jones for the and 1. Blair Green slap on the arm.
So Jones will go to the free throw line to try to finish off the 3-point play. Remind you, coming up next, the SEC Now team standing by. They'll have a breakdown of our 2 games tonight, highlights from around the league, interviews with coaches and players here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Alyssa, Steffi, Drea, all standing by, ready to go. Well, a strong performance in the second half for Texas A&M. Patterson weaving through traffic, gets it to drop. Ryan Howard with 22 points on 10 of 17 shooting, but Texas A&M tried to make other players beat them, and it wasn't going to happen here tonight. As A&M calls a timeout in the final minute. And it'll be a full timeout with the Aggies on top, 75-60.
I think the difference between Kentucky and Texas A&M thus far, I mean, just looking even at the stat sheet, Howard has 22, got McKinney with 12, but nobody else in double figures. The next person, Patterson with 8, Benton with 6. Then you go to Texas A&M, you look at Wilson. Wilson has 15, India Jones has 12, Johnson has 14, Nixon with 19. I mean, that is the balanced attack, and they're missing 2 of their bench players that would be solid offensive production for the Texas A&M team.
You know, without Green and Morris, and the team rallied here tonight. And remember, they were down by 2 midway through the third quarter, 47-45 since that time. Aggies have outscored Kentucky 30-13. Some of that trademark defense and unselfish play on offense. So Texas A&M will have another matchup against a top 25 team coming up on Sunday. They'll be at Arkansas, which is a good trip for Gary Blair. See the grandkids, head back to Fayetteville. We had great success as their head coach. Then they'll be at LSU before hosting Mississippi State next Sunday. Kentucky hopes to play South Carolina. Of course, South Carolina's game against Georgia was called off today because of COVID protocols with the South Carolina team. Carolina was coming off that 17-point win at Alabama on Monday. Tennessee with an impressive return to play tonight, 88-73 win over Arkansas. Mississippi State bounced back behind Jessica Carter's 25 points and 15 rebounds to win at Florida. Alabama with a bounce-back performance. Mariah Copeland had 20 and 14 in that game for Bama. And Ole Miss ended their 22-game losing streak in SEC play with a victory over Auburn. Vanderbilt is scheduled to return to play on Sunday. And as of right now, depending on what happens with South Carolina and Kentucky, it looks like we have a full schedule for the first time in conference play. This was a full team performance for Texas A&M. And in the second half, Gary Blair's team did what they needed to defensively and offensively. Tamika, they put 77 on the board against Kentucky. 77-60 the final.
Texas A&M came out the second half. They executed the game plan. They attacked down low. Sierra Johnson was a big part of why they had the success